Hello everybody, Low Tier for Life here, bringing us a brand new video, and today we have a deck profile of Speedroid. Now, Speedroid is probably the most, underrated deck out of Supreme Darkness with new support. I see a lot of people talk about the new heroes, the Mitsurugi, the buffs to, Rizal, Malice, and everything, and especially with Crystron. And that has led to poor Speedroid kind of getting left in the dust, which is unfortunate because this deck has a lot of stuff going for it. I've been playing the heck out of it, and it's been really impressing me with what it can do. I think a lot of my issues that I've been having playing it are pilot error, so me. But I still very much am confident in this deck, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I also am going to be uploading a combo video for the deck, probably within the next couple days, and so please look forward to that. I've not done combo videos before, at least not in a long while. I don't think I've done them at all. So please look forward to that, and then I'm hoping to have, since I know you guys are probably asking about it, the next archetype analysis probably by the end of next week. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started on this deck profile. So I'm also going to rework how I do my deck profiles, where I'm going to talk about the main core engine of the deck first, and then we'll talk about the non-engine. That way, just to kind of make it a bit neater. So, first and foremost, we have 3 Terror Top. Terror Top is finally unlimited, and all that glorious QCR-ness. So, you want to play 3 Terror Top. He's a Cyber Dragon, he's a Searcher, it goes without saying. Next, I have 3 Marble Machine. Marble Machine is a card that was released while Terror Top was at 1, and for good reason, because, well, we needed another Terror Top. This thing is a Terror Top, but only on normal summon, and he locks you into wins. So he's very much a nerfed Terror Top, but it's still a very good card for this deck, and helps make it even that much more consistent. You have full combo, no matter what, as long as you see one or the other of these two. If you see both, oh my god, it's so good. This thing also actually is relevant as a scale now, thanks to Colonel Clackers, so there is that as well. We have 3 Takentenborg. 3 Takentenborg seems pretty good. There's no reason to play less. This thing is a free special summon. You can tribute it, summon any of your tuners from your deck. It's literally a key card in the combo and everything for this deck. So, yeah. Moving on, we got one of the new guys. Colonel Clackers. We are playing 3 of them. Colonel Clackers is the new high scale of the deck and is an amazing card. So while it's in the Pendulum Zone, you can banish a Speedroid card from your graveyard to place any of your other Speedroid Pendulums from your deck into your other scale for free, effectively. So, part of the combo is going Terror Top, bring him out, searching out Takentenborg, tribute, summon somebody, and then as long as you can get to Clackers, you can use his effect to get another scale out, and that's really good. Also, if he's destroyed by battle or card effect while on the field, you can summon another Colonel Clackers from your hand, deck, or grave, but it becomes a tuner. And while he's in the extra deck as a face-up pendulum, whenever one of your Clearwing monster battles, you can banish him to have that monster gain 700 attack. This is so good. It's such a good card. It does so much. Now, we do have a lot of one-ofs, and that includes his buddy, which is one of the new ones. 1 Speedroid Wing Synchron. This is one of the new support cards for the deck, and it's only a one-off because you don't want to see it. This card is terrible to draw, and yeah. So, what's he do? Well, while he's a scale, and you have a level 2 Speedroid monster in your other scale, you can destroy both to synchro summon a Speedroid, a Clearwing Synchro Dragon from your extra deck. It has to specifically be the original Clearwing, and yeah, that's really good. You pop him in Colonel Clackers, get out a free Clearwing, and then that will trigger Clackers' effect to summon another copy of himself. But also, provided you have another synchro of another type, you will then be able to also activate Wing Synchron's effect as well, where if you add it to the extra deck face up and you have 2 Wind Synchros with different types on the field, you can send any Speedroid spell or trap card from your deck to the graveyard, which is really good because this deck does have 2 traps that love being in a graveyard. I think there's more, but they don't have Speedroid in the name, so it's not relevant. Anyways, for the other one-ups, we have one Horse Stilts. I'm going to be honest, he's probably going to get cut eventually. I'm really not liking him, but he does help with combo too, where he's Marauding Captain, and if he's in your graveyard, except the turn he was sent there for some ungodly reason, you can banish him to send any Speedroid card from your deck to the graveyard. One double Yugioh, who is another really good card. This card you actually always want to keep in your deck, because on normal summon, you can bring back any level 3 or lower Speedroid from your graveyard, and that is very, very, very good, and is a very relevant part of many combos for this deck. Next, we have one Fuki Mudoshi Piper. This card is an amazing level 4, to the point where I kind of want to play 2, but he also, because of his level, is not very helpful in a lot of situations, so I like having one of them. If he's summoned and you have other wind monsters on the field, you can excavate your top of your deck equal to the number of other winds you have, and add one card from those excavated cards to your hand. The rest go on the bottom of the deck. That's any card. This card is phenomenal for grabbing side deck staples and stuff. It's so good. And then if he's in your graveyard, you can banish him, target one of your dudes that you have on the field, reduce its level by 2. Then I have one Ultra Hound. On normal summon, he can send any Speedroid card from your deck to the graveyard. I think it has to actually be specific for your Speedroid monster. So yes, any monster. And then if he's in your graveyard, you can banish him, target a Speedroid monster in your graveyard, shuffle it back into the deck, and then summon a Speedroid monster from your extra deck whose level equals that monster, but has a different name. So if you target Terror Top, you can summon Cork Shooter, or other stuff like that. It's a cool card. He doesn't come up too often, and you do have to wait a turn to use that graveyard effect, but when it does pop off, oh god, it's good. Then we have one Car Turbo. This thing is a free special summon. If you have a wind monster out, you can just plop it on a field, and if it's in your graveyard, you can banish it in another wind to bump up all your winds by 800 attack for the turn. Then we have one Den Den Daiko Duke. Den Den Daiko Duke lets me banish him from the graveyard to summon any Speedroid tuner from my hand or grave. Really good card, very important card for combos, and typically what you're sending off of Ultra Hound if you don't already have him in grave. And finally, the main tuner of the deck, good old Red-Eyed Dice. Red-Eyed Dice is a key part of the combos and everything that you do in this deck. On summon, he can make any other Speedroid a different level from 1 to 6. You cannot target himself, and it's not once per turn. And that's very, very important, so you do have to keep all that in mind, but because of all that, you're able to just go absolutely ham with this thing. It is such a good card. We need another tuner that does the same thing, but better. It's unfortunate. Moving on to the spells, let's go ahead and talk about the spells. First and foremost, I'm only playing 2 Speedroid Scratch. I don't like playing 3 of this. So how Speedroid Scratch works is you send one Speedroid card from your hand to the graveyard to add another Speedroid monster with a different name. This card is cool. It's not particularly great. It's more consistency, and I can see why some people would play 3. If I do end up cutting to Horse Stilts, I will probably pump this up to 3 and just maximize on this instead of playing Horse Stilts. But yeah, this card, it's one of the biggest Ash targets in the deck, and I really hate how you have to send specifically a Speedroid card. So if you open this with a bunch of hand traps, you're not going anywhere. It does not help. And then we have 2 Speedroid Wheel, which says discard 1 card, roll a 6-sided die, and then summon up to 2 Speedroids with a level that equal to the number that you roll. So if you roll a 6, you can summon 2 level 3s, or a level 4 and a level 2, stuff like that. Very good card. You're pretty much always going to be able to resolve it unless like it's really late game or something. But it's a really, really good card. I wouldn't play more than 2 though. It's another Ash target, really. Like, that's a big reason. But yeah. Moving on, we got 2 Speed Recovery. That's another card where some people like to play 3. It's a non-once per turn Monster Reborn for the archetype. That also has a graveyard effect where you can banish it to target a Speedroid in your grave and add it to your hand. The second effect is, I believe, no, it is not once per turn. You just gotta wait a turn to be able to do that. So it is a really cool card for recursion and recovery, but it's not searchable. That's the big downside. It's not a Speedroid card, as is most of the old Speedroid support from the back in the day when the deck was first coming out. So I think 2 is a perfectly fine number. I see it enough times where I'm like, cool, awesome, and I don't feel like I'm overloaded with them. Then finally, we play one of each Speedroid in name, Trap, Duplicate, and Clear Wing Wonder. Duplicate has the effect where if you have it on field, you can banish one wind monster from your graveyard to bounce one card your opponent controls. And if it's in your graveyard, you can target a Speedroid, reduce its level by 1, and then special summon this card as a level 1 normal monster that's a tuner. You can only do that second effect once per duel. Wing Wonder has the effect where you can target cards your opponent controls up to a number of different type wind synchros that you control. So if you have a Dragon and Machine wind synchro, you can target 2 cards, destroy them. And if it's in your graveyard and your opponent special summons a monster, you can banish it, target one Clearwing monster you control, banish it, and then immediately return it back to the field. There's a lot of really cool combos with that in that none of the Clearwings, their effects are not hard once per turns. So what you do is you use your negate, and then, oh, your opponent keeps comboing, you banish this, and then you banish your Clearwing, for just a split second. You blink it out, I think is what they call it in Magic, and then he comes back, and then now his effect's live again. So yeah. That is all of the Speedroid cards. Let's go and look at our non-engine. This deck is able to play a pretty good number. I'm playing 12 non-engine at the moment, and you could easily change what you're playing. I think that these are just kind of like the best ones at the moment for what I'm dealing with at my locals. So first and foremost, we got triple Ash Blossom. Kind of goes without saying. Ash is Ash. You got to play it. Then we got 3 Drone Lockbird. Now this one, depending on what your locals is looking like, you could switch out for Nibiru, you could switch out for Bitchute, you could switch out for effect fillers, whatever you want. My locals is consisted of a ton, and by a ton, I mean a ton of Ryziel variants, especially Ryziel Fiendsmith, Ryziel Mitsurugi, Ryziel Pier, and Drone Lock just shuts all that crap down. So I kind of have to play it at my locals. It really sucks. But there is some cool stuff with this card. It does have synergy with the deck because Clearwing Synchro Dragon, Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon, if he dies, he searches any wind monster. So I've literally had times where my opponent just like nukes my board with like a Dark Hole or Regeki or something. I've already burned my negates. Cool. I get to search a Drone Lock, and now they gotta like worry about me dropping Draw on them. It's really funny. Anyways, moving on, we got triple Imperm, pretty much par for the course. We want to be able to stop stuff. And then finally, triple Dominus Purge. This deck is all wind all the time, and you really don't need to worry about anything else other than the Ash Blossom. So yeah, this card is a given for the deck, and it's very, very good. So yep, that is the main deck. Let's go ahead and take a look at the extra deck now. The extra deck is super duper tight. I do have one thing in here that is purely for side reasons, although it might get cut because I'm finding it just did not come up enough. Granted, maybe it might just be because of my side deck, but we'll see. I'm still tinkering, and I also kind of just suck at siding, so there's that. So first and foremost, we have 2 high-speed Roid rubber band shooters. This card is a broken Link monster. 40 archetype, gives you an extra normal summon, and can banish a synchro from your extra deck in order to search out any, well, it searches and dumps one each of like, so basically how it works, you banish a synchro, a wind synchro specifically, you take 2 Speedroids whose levels equal that monster's level, your opponent picks 1 at random, that one goes to your hand, the other one goes to grave. Really good card, really broken for the archetype. You want stuff in grave, you want stuff in your hand, just a phenomenal card, and it's also like the biggest Imperm Ash Veiler target ever. Moving on, that's our one and only Link we're playing. We have 2 Cork Shooters. This guy is really good as well. On Synchro Summon, you can either add a Speedroid spell or track card from your deck to your hand, or you can summon its materials back. That's all. That's really it. I mean, it's a really good card. So, yeah. And then you are locked into wind monsters the turn you do any of its effects. I really hate how it's a hard once per turn, so you can't even try to summon another copy and get both effects. But you know what? For being able to just summon its materials back from the graveyard, it's a really good card. Then we are playing 2 Clearwing Synchro Dragons. Now, I was only playing one for a while, and it came up enough where I needed a second copy because of all the like card-specific versions and everything. Also, you do typically have to banish at least one copy of it or Fast Dragon in order to get your searches with Rubber Band Shooter, because what you do is you go, you banish Clearwing or Fast Dragon, you banish one of them, and then you choose Terror Top and double Yo-Yo, and then no matter what, you're getting to Terror Top, because if your opponent picks Terror Top, cool, you got Terror Top in hand, and I can just extra normal, bring them out. Or if your opponent chooses double Yo-Yo, you can extra normal summon the double Yo-Yo. Double Yo-Yo brings back Terror Top, and now you're off to the races. So, yeah, you need two. It just comes up too much where you need two. And then we have one, Chambara. Chambara, another card that might get cut. I'm really considering playing Hygopro instead, but this card helps clean up games so much, and yeah. He's a double attacker who gets 100 attack whenever he attacks, so the attack first time he goes up to 21, attack the second time he goes up to 22. That does keep stacking, so if you don't kill your opponent, you can do that later, and you can keep getting higher. It's kind of funny, but it doesn't come up, so yeah, there's that, and then on top of that, if he dies, you can target one of your banished Speedroids, add it to your hand. The big thing, though, is it's a double attacker, but Hygopro has more combo potential, so I'm kind of eyeing it. I don't know. Anyways, moving on, we have one High Speedroid Glider 2. This thing on summon brings back a level 7 or lower when synchro from your graveyard. No restrictions, and doesn't stop its effects from activating or anything. It's stupid. And then if it's in your graveyard and you control a Clearwing monster and your opponent summons a monster, you can banish it, pump up all of your opponent's monsters levels by 5, which is a hilarious floodgatey effect whenever you're playing against Rizal, because you can just do that, and now, oh, all their dudes are level 9. It's like, what? You're not going to be seizing, my guy. It's so funny. It's really funny how this deck just has some random counters to the big decks. And then we're playing one Stardust Charge Warrior. He draws you a card on summon and can also attack everything your opponent controls. Doesn't come up too often. The big thing, though, is he's a level 6 wind that you do actually make every now and then, but you do also just usually end up banishing. It's either him or Kendama, and I chose the one that's better. Then we got one Fast Dragon. This is another card I kind of want to play 2 of, but like you can't really fit him in here, so it's kind of like eh. So yeah, the one Fast Dragon, he's arguably better than old school Clearwing in some circumstances, but also the original Clearwing is also like really good this format randomly. He came up a lot where his effects are like, oh wait, this works. It's just like, what? Then we have one Kite Drake. Kite Drake is a card I kind of want to drop, but at the same time, he comes up enough to where I'm like, okay, no, I do need to keep him. So on summon, you can either destroy all the cards on the field or negate everything your opponent controls permanently. And then if he dies, you can add one I believe it's specifically a Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand. So yeah, really cool card all around. He's a level 8 though, and level 8s are not easy for this deck to make. They can hit like every other level, but level 8 is just hard, which is annoying. Speaking of level 8s, Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Again, level 8s are hard to make, but you can make them from time to time, and these are the only 2 we're playing. Next, we're playing one Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. This guy, he's a spell and trap card negate, but can become immune to monster effects, and if he dies, you search out any wind monster. Really good card. Finally, one Crystal Clearwing over Synchro Dragon. This thing is an Omni Negate for anything, and if it dies, you summon another Clearwing monster from your deck, from your X deck, I mean, and it is it has to be Synchro summoned. Finally, for my side deck, I do play one Mirological Aggregator in the main, like, extra deck, because I do side the good old Ultimate Slayers. This card could easily be switched out with good old, I don't know where I put him, but the High Speedroid Kite Flyer, I think is what it's called, or something like that. It's really down to you, and honestly, I'm not super liking the Ultimate Slayer package in this, so I might cut it anyway. It's kind of debatable. But anyways, yeah, it's just really good, though. Like, because, like, the Ultimate Slayer, get rid of Detonator, and then this negates something, so it's like, cool. Finally, for this side deck, this is what I've been rocking with for now. First and foremost, we have 2 Triple Tactics Thrust, and then the D-Barrier and the 2 Ultimate Slayer players for the thrust and everything. Then we got 2 forbidden droplets. I kind of want to play 3. That's another reason why I kind of like debating on the thrust package and everything. Then we got good old Nibiru that we are playing 3 of. Nibiru is very, very good this format, and I kind of want to switch them out with Droll in the main. It really depends. And then we only got 2 Artifact Lancia. I kind of want to try to squeeze in a 3rd. I'm trying to like cover all my bases with this, okay? Finally, 2 Durastorm, 1 Magnamut for Bitchute protection. Because while you get locked into wins on your turn, you don't on your opponent's turn. So there's that. Anyways, that's everything, guys. I love this deck so much, and I hope, even if like this deck is terrible in terms of my build and everything and like all that stuff, which I don't think it's bad, and I don't think this deck's bad, but even if like a lot of people are just writing off this deck, I really hope that some people give it a shot and give it a try, because this deck, it's so much fun. It's so good. When I was playing against one of the better players at my locals, he was like, "Oh, this is like Vanadium a lot," and yeah, I see it. I do see that a lot. You can build really strong boards if you don't stop it, and yeah, that's just like Vanadium. So, anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and see y'all later. Peace out. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider rating, commenting, and subscribing. Sharing the video helps as well. If you especially really like it, please do consider being a channel member. Every little bit helps out. And hey, also why not check me out on my other social media pages. Thank you, and have a great day.